Hello, everybody!
Oh,
Yes, you've seen the thumbnail, you've seen the description, and we have gone a full circle, folks. If you were subscribed when this was called Enzo, my name only, my first video was Braveheart, and now, almost a year later, we're doing Braveheart again.
it's a year, 1 year anniversary since we made this channel.
Yeah?
Oh, happy birthday to our channel! But
Yeah.
ready. I don't know if you can do that yet, Enzo.
But we'll just wait till later in March to do the anniversary of when we got together.
When it started.
Yeah. But yeah, this is in honor of, again, the Oscars. This is for the best actor, and you can guess who won the award for that one in this movie.
As he directed it and starred in it as the main protagonist.
Yeah, and Paramount didn't want to do this movie if he didn't star in it. Like, you have to do both. But yeah, we're doing Braveheart. This is set in the 13th century in Scotland, and Scotland's fighting for freedom against the English Empire. You know, it's funny how many liberties this story takes, because right off the bat, they take liberties with prima nocta, which is the English trying to systematically wipe out the Scottish by, taking the wives and or forcing themselves on the Scottish folks, which is false.
To anybody who doesn't know, as I've heard as well, where they're like, no, they did not initiate prima nocta.
Yeah.
Anybody who doesn't know what prima nocta is, it is that the English royal guard or something like that, or a noble, has the right to fuck your wife after your marriage.
Yeah.
As like honor, as a blessing that, oh, it is officially you're married, which is stupid. And I think whoever made that rule was just a creep.
Yeah. And anyone says it is historically accurate, if you've seen interviews or other things, they're like, prove it! Where's your source material? They're like, So that just shows how ridiculous it is. But for the movie's sake, it works because it gets the Scottish very riled up. And poor William Wallace, well, this movie shows him growing up as, just one of the people. His dad and brother are poor too, but they're one of the rebels, and his dad and brother are killed. But as far as history is concerned, his dad was still pretty much alive throughout this whole event.
Again, it's just Hollywood just being like, we need motivation for him to go revenge. I mean, like, did they kill his wife? I am not really...
History's not sure about that.
Okay. Like, I think the wife would have been enough. I don't know why they had to kill the father and just, like, deviate from the actual source material.
He's like, have you gained your freedom yet, son? Not yet, Dad.
Hey, not. Your dad just walks in mid-battle. He's like, you winning, son?
Right? But yeah, we know from history, Braveheart, William Wallace did have a wife, and from this movie you feel their connection, that he really likes his girl, Moran. What? You don't like him throwing a pebble?
Wasn't Marin like the princess?
No, that's Isabella.
Oh, my bad. No, Marin, for me, I get it, why they had to kind of rush it. It's because, you want to see... unless they made this into a series, I get why they rushed it.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to see William Wallace taking back Scotland from the English.
Yeah.
You wanted to see that immediately, like...
You felt the rush.
Yeah, you just want to feel the fucking rush. I'm saying, Mel Gibson, amazing when it comes to war movies.
Yeah.
Not so amazing in phone calls, but amazing in war movies. But but I get why they kind of rushed. Because I really do feel like the relationship between William Wallace and Maureen
was it quick?
Very rushed.
Okay.
Dude, they meet for 2 scenes and they got married.
I mean, they want to avoid the English.
I mean, no, I get that, but I mean, like, you could have, like, taken
a few more
some
weeks.
Time. Yeah, because I know, like, I don't know. I wasn't born in the 13th century. Probably my dad, I don't know. Like, I guess it's okay for it to go that fast, maybe? I don't know. Probably. I didn't feel so bad that, I know that the wife's not gonna make it. But how she died though, that was like, whoa.
right? Though I felt bad for her when Wallace is throwing rocks at her window. Like, this is kind of funny, and then he hits her in the head. Like, oh my god, should have
Oh
given
no,
her a
he doesn't. He
concussion.
doesn't hit her in the head. It kind of was fine. But after seeing what he can do to like his old friend, who I forgot his name.
Hamish.
I think it would have been Hamish. He throws a rock at his head, and he just leaves a huge action gash on his forehead. I was like, thank God, Warren wasn't hit by that rock.
Thank God. And like things come to head when the English soldiers trying to force themselves on her, and Wallace saves her, but they go their separate ways, and she's captured by the English anyway.
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, but okay.
He's like, she's safe. Wait.
Shit. Like if you've seen Castlevania, you know how this ends.
Yeah, it is shocking. I'm like, are they gonna burn her at the stake? Oh shit! Oh shit! Okay.
And that's what I was thinking. Like they tied her up to the stake, but then burned her. So could have just slit her throat right on the spot.
I guess they wanted to make an example out of her.
I guess like they cannot just leave her.
Because the guy was like, I was so nice to you people, and this is how you pay me, and then slits her throat.
That gets you riled up though.
Yeah.
Because you can tell that like their soldiers did horrible things to to William Wallace's people. Yeah, they stole, they killed, they raped. I don't know if I won't. It's okay to say the word.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Okay, yeah. It is, it is no.
It's history. I mean, it's history.
Yeah, it is history. But like, and then this guy's just like, I was so nice to you people. How could you? I'm like, it gets the audience riled up.
Yeah.
You know?
And then the first battle we see is pretty intense too. Like, Wall just pulls out the mace and smashes the guy on the head.
Oh, he pulls a fucking Die Hard where he's just like, what? I was like, what? John McClane, what'd you get here?
And then I don't know how impossible it is to scale the arrow spot that quickly. I'm like, I buy it. Why not?
I don't know, man. Like, I have questioned the anatomy of Scotsman. Like, I swear, to our buddy in our DBD server, or Dead by Daylight server, like, you guys are built different. Like, what the fuck? Like, there's this old guy, the father of Amish. Man gets an arrow to the chest, like probably punctured a lung. And he just snaps it off and keeps fighting and lifts this heavy ass gate. I was like, this man ain't human. Like, a punctured lung is just a flesh wound to him.
I love that when he's getting healed by the heat thing, and he just goes wild, just knocks out the guy.
No, but you gotta love the, like, everybody kind of knew how this is gonna go. Like, hold this, I'll hold him down. And then the other guy's like, hold this, I'll hold him down. Because they all knew that they can't hold this guy back.
I'm sorry, Bob.
He just smacks the dude who cauterized his wound.
Though I do love when Wallace kills that general or royal, there's a look on his eyes. It's like, this is not gonna bring her back. I know it, but all I can do now is kill as many of you as I can.
Right, just so that no other husband can go through what I did.
Oh, speaking
but like,
of which,
yeah.
No, go ahead. I was gonna talk about another sweet scene.
Oh, okay. No, because I really did see what you mean by that. Like, once he got him on the stake where his wife died and slit his throat, there was no joy there.
Yeah.
You know, you could tell us that. Now what?
Yeah.
Not what I wanted, and now what?
Yeah. And then when he captured the fort, when the husband comes back, he's like, "It was my right." He's like, "You're right. I'm only here to claim the right of a husband," and just smacks him in the head. Like, that's so sick. I love it.
Yeah.
Then,
you gotta love the fight scenes here, because like, you get to see like legit legs fly off. I'm like, you see people become a stump.
Yeah.
Right on the spot.
And like at this time too, we meet the king, where the king isn't that developed, but he's so good at being a bad guy. We're like, I hate you so much.
Yeah, I hate you. You were just typical bad guy, but Like to the point where you kind of like, oh, he's very. It's not black and white. It's just pretty much the bad side
Yeah, yeah. It's like
of.
problem of Scotland is that it's full of Scots. You're like, I see where your agenda, sir.
Whoa. Okay.
And then his son isn't that developed too. He's just like, oh, you're kind of just like the wimpy son.
Yeah, the wimpy guy. The father's not really proud of him all that much.
Though I felt so bad when he tossed his lover out to him. Like, did you have to do that, you asshole? Fuck
right.
you.
And he could have actually contributed because he does know a little bit of war tactics.
Yeah.
I was like,
He was
Eric,
just too mad at his son for fucking up.
yeah, I know you're mad and shit that your son doesn't want to fuck his own wife, but like, you didn't have to throw your boy's lover off the window.
Yeah,
I'm sure they had something special. You fuck.
right? But he's like, you're in charge until I come back from France. And then we go to the Battle of Stirling, where, again, history says the official name is the Battle of Stirling Bridge. Where the fuck is the bridge? It's like, it's the Battle of Omaha Beach. Where's the beach? I don't know. It's called Omaha.
Battle of Omaha Beach fought in a forest.
Right? It's like, yo, it's still Omaha. That doesn't count, sir.
So, which battle was this? Where they flipped up their kilts?
Yeah, yeah. Where you get the
Yeah.
famous speech of William Wallace.
Freedom. Okay.
They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom.
Which I was like, this is I could see why people say there's a really good scene. Like, this quote alone. Because, yeah, I get it. It's either you walk away, you live for a long time, and then by the end of your life, you're gonna regret that, oh, I could have died for something more than just be living a peaceful life.
Yeah.
And living with regret.
Though,
Which I was like, yeah.
this speech is always 10 minutes in my head, and then when you watch it, oh, it's about like a minute and a half.
Right? Like, I also
That's
thought it was
more
a very
smart.
long speech. But it does get you riled up again. Yeah. Mel Gibson has an amazing way of making us like, I want to go to war for my country. Maybe not because of bloodlust.
Yeah.
For my country.
Well, in history, the battle went like the English were trying to cross this bridge, and every time they crossed the bridge, the Scots people would, corner them in a trap because it's a bridge. Like, there's not much maneuverability there.
I guess for Hollywood, that wasn't so
right.
dramatic. Like it's not like a grandiose kind of battle.
And the bridge still exists. I'll put up a picture. Though that's reconstructed because that was the 13th century, and they have to maintain it somehow. Yeah.
I mean, if the bridge was around 800 years old, I'm for sure that it won't be like stable.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, the battle is intense. I like how when they're trying to negotiate, Wallace is like, "No, I out," and then no one's like, "Please, just let us know." No, okay.
All right, I'm sorry. I don't know, but I love that. Like when they have the negotiator come in,
yeah,
Wallace is just right up his face, like legit invading personal space. Like, no, you don't do that. This is the line.
Right.
You don't cross this line.
It's like what you want.
And from our Scottish friend in our DVD server, I said that there are a lot of things in this movie that was very inaccurate.
Yeah, like the kilts. There should be kilts.
The
war paint. Yeah. The only time Scotland ever used war paint was against the Romans, which is 1,000 years before this.
Right. And actually, I'm glad we got that insight from it.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, I would say, with the inaccuracies, it does get importance, in my opinion. But, can't.
This battle is.
This battle's fucking bad.
It's the shit.
Them flipping off their kilts. And, like, they're pretty much showing their willies. They're William Wallaces on towards the English. Was a bit, like, really badass. Though the fact that they're like, yep, we're going commando and we don't fucking care.
The one guy stayed over too enthusiastic because he got shot in the ass by an arrow buddy.
Oh yeah, he stayed there for too long.
Surprised, I'm like, dude, shield! Oh fuck, he's dead.
He's like, where are they?
Yeah, and this, again, Mel Gibson, whether it's the 20th century or, the 13th century, warfare for Mel Gibson is like his playground, because Jesus Christ. Like, the sequence of sense is like Wallace stabs a guy and then knocks out another guy with a pommel of a sword, and he just splits another guy's head open. Like,
Dude,
fuck.
it's always fun to see that one dude with a hammer just cave in somebody's head with like somebody's helmet,
Yeah,
and he'll just cave in, and then there'll be blood splatter
Right.
coming out. I'm like, oh my god!
I felt bad
That
for
man is-
Hamish because he falls
wow.
over, and then his hand gets cut off, and he just stabs the guy who cut off his hand. Like, fuck you!
Oh no, that wasn't Hamish. That wasn't Hamish.
Sorry,
that was
his father,
dad.
Campbell.
Yeah,
Like, stab! I got you anyway.
like, he's like, fuck you, which is like a very very fitting like attitude that this movie has depicted Scottish to be like. Oh, you cut off my leg. Nah, I'm gonna fuck you up.
I like how he screams at the English second command, like, bastard! And just knocks out this horse and then knocks out his head. Like, fuck's
Yeah.
sake.
Oh god, what else happened in this fucking movie? Like, if you see William Wallace like coming up towards battle with a horse, and he starts to grunt like, I'm like,
That scream at the end of the first battle, like, I love the guttural. Like, there's.
no, I was like, nobody paused to be like, oh my god, look what Ward. No, it's obviously, look what we overcome. Like, this was supposed to be an impossible battle.
Yeah.
But because of William Wallace and his strategy, sure, as simple as it was, it worked. And I'm like, fuck. I mean, in legit history, they just bottlenecked a couple of fuckers in the
Yeah.
bridge, but like, this was still a cool scene.
Yes. And we get to meet Robert the Bruce and the other nobles where. You know, this movie really reminds me of Henry Luna at this point. Where it's like,
I was gonna say, I was legit gonna mention, like, the ending's very familiar.
right?
Right?
It's like the whole, like, we need the nobles to help. The nobles like, but we kind of like the English.
Yeah, like, the Scottish had William Wallace, and our William Wallace was Henry Luna.
Yeah, yeah. Though, to correct this movie again, Robert the Bruce was just as much as a hero as William Wallace, and the way the film
Yes.
depicts him is very incorrect. Because he did
Yeah,
not betray William Wallace.
Yeah, he never betrayed William Wallace,
Yeah.
as I've seen also as well. Yeah, even our friend in DVD said, like, Robert the Bruce was not a bad guy. He
Yeah,
never betrayed. I mean, sure. You could say that this character wasn't really a bad guy.
Hmm.
Like, you know, he felt something. He felt bad for betraying William Wallace, but sad to say, this never happened.
yeah, yeah.
Like, the drama between him and William Wallace of, like, I betrayed my friend, I want to do right by him. It did happen.
Yeah, yeah. Because he was with them from the start. And, like,
Mm-hmm.
the name Braveheart, you would think belongs to William Wallace. It does not. Belongs to Robert the Bruce.
Really?
Yeah, because that's what his friend called him one time after his death.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
The fuck?
yeah. So again with this,
It's like Legend of Zelda.
yeah,
It's exactly like how fucking Nintendo's like, we're naming the series after Zelda. Is that the main character? Nah.
because like with the screenwriter, he was like, I want the drama first and the historical stuff second, and that clearly shows.
It clearly shows, and it works. Let's say we take out everybody's names here and replace them with original names. And it was inspired by the Battle of 1314? I forgot.
12 something.
13, 14? No, it was the 13th century.
Yeah, so that means a year. You
Alright,
subtract
my
numbers.
bad, my bad. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it was inspired by this war. This was an amazing movie.
Yeah,
But
unfortunately.
unfortunately, it's supposed to depict a real event that happened there. And it was very inaccurate.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
if it, in terms of history, it fails. You're like, I'm sorry, you get 50.
Yeah,
But in terms of being a good movie, it's
well, good movie.
way above that. But yeah, speaking of Robert Bruce, he's like conflicted the entire time, and like we see what happens. His choice by the second battle, where I like how when the king's here, that's when shit hits the fan.
Right? No, it's just that he has that Smeagol father of his, like, just, I don't know, what does he have? Leprosy or something?
I'm guessing.
Yeah. Yeah, he looked like little lepers. But, like, minus the bandage.
Yeah.
I don't think Robert Bruce should have been touching it.
Right? Or anywhere
Or
near
being
him.
in the same group as him.
Again,
Um,
liberties.
I guess. It makes it for a dramatic scene.
Yeah.
Especially if you, like, grab him
Yeah.
by the collar, like,
Yeah,
Also-
so you have leprosy?
yeah, you're not supposed to touch him, just like the plague.
Yeah.
We also get the scene where we can tell that the king's not gonna make it either.
Yeah. Like,
Like, EB hit him hard.
or whatever he had, I'm like, man, just a cough kills you. And doesn't give you the...
I would say it's tuberculosis.
You say it's tuberculosis?
Because he coughs, there's blood coming out.
Ah, okay.
And everybody around him is still okay unless they died, like, drank his blood or something. I don't know.
I like how the king, Edward, does Ramsay Bolton. He's like, fire the archers. And he's like, but sir, our troops. And?
No, our troops will be hit. So will the enemies.
Again,
Like,
I love
like
how
this
asshole,
pompous ass fucker.
right? When Wallace gets hit by the air, I'm like, there's an hour left. What the fuck
Right?
is happening?
Same here, I was like, this is where he dies, right? No.
And he just charges the king like a very big Hail Mary attempt.
Again, him riding towards the king, like him alone with like the king has like probably 8 guards around him. The look in his eyes was like, this is a legit nightmare.
Right?
Like if you saw that running up to you, you'd be legit scared.
Yeah. And then the Black Knight engages battle with him, and then he has the Black Knight cornered, and then it's Robert the Bruce, and he's just like,
Oh, you gotta love how there was a scene before this where Robert the Bruce and William Wallace pretty much agreed, yeah, we're joining arms.
Yeah.
We're gonna be as one. We're not gonna be separated, no matter our bond. Because we need to save Scotland first before this. But then Smeagol of a father was like, "No, you must join the English. This is the winning side."
yeah.
And so did the other noblemen.
Yeah,
Sadly, just have to say.
that's why it hurts so much when William Wallace starts going.
Oh, because like, God, Robert the Bruce, like, was legit, you know, had high respects for William Wallace in this movie. He's always had in real life, but like for this movie, and he could even bring. I really thought Robert Bruce was gonna like pull out the knife and try to finish William Wallace off.
Same. Like,
I
can
was
you
like,
really
wait,
stab him?
that's not how history goes, though.
It's like, you really want to stab the man with puppy dog eyes?
Right? Mel Gibson. Like, these are the saddest eyes.
Yeah,
Like, you can see that the betrayal of a friend.
Yeah.
Like, William Wallace was even angry that he lost the battle.
Yeah.
He was just so shocked that his
He's like, I
friend,
thought we were
the person he
friends.
trusted the most, betrayed him, and he was just set back. He was like, the fuck, man?
Going back a bit, like when the cavalry refused to charge, I'm like, oh, no, fuck, is this the beginning of the end? Fuck's
Okay.
sake.
Oh, wait, no. Before we get to that scene, the start of the battle, you see them, like, running up, then they slow down. And they're like, what's up, man?
How you doing, man?
Yeah. Like, how you doing? Alright, let's turn around. Let's go that way.
I wish history said that happened, but again, another liberty. I wish it did though.
God damn it, I wish it did. Besides William Wallace and Robert the Bruce, who was your favorite character? Like, sidekick?
Campbell.
Campbell?
Yeah.
For an old dude, like somebody who's like probably in their 60s and still at war, it's really bad.
That's why when he gets the axe to the gun, I'm like, no, fuck! Fuck, I liked him.
But it took so much to take him down.
Yeah.
I was like, man needs a rest.
Right?
Like, this man was like, I've lived long enough to know what freedom feels like. I'm
Yeah.
like, yes,
Good for
sir.
you, sir.
Yeah, but he just takes like the axe to the gut. I was like, shit. For me, it was Stephen.
Stephen,
Well, sorry.
going back to the first battle, I like the scene where he's like, the Lord said, I'm gonna make it out of here. But he tells me, you're fucked. Like, ah, thanks,
Right?
Stephen.
And, dude, like, the entire time we were like, this guy's not right in the head. And then when they showed the scene where there was an assassin sent for Wallace,
Yeah.
and he's the one who actually saves him, and we all thought that he was the assassin.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he's okay. The mad Irishman.
Like,
I like that. That was my favorite
if
character.
we're gonna kill Wallace, why are you holding your sword like that?
Right? He has it like this.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Uh,
you know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of that character from Outlaw.
for what?
Yeah, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson. He was just like really crazy
yeah,
guy with
yeah.
those dual swords, and he's just like blood all over him.
Yeah, I love that character too.
Oh wait, hold on. James Douglas. There we go. That was the character from Outlaw Kings that he reminds me of.
But yeah, I like how Wallace gets his revenge on the nobles. Though I question how he snuck his horse in the guy's house too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, we forgot to mention that through the guilt of Robert Bruce, he helps William Wallace escape.
Yeah.
Before.
And Steve was like,
Guard got him.
"Isn't that Robert? Oh fuck it."
I was like, dude, what?
It's like, I have no time
Yeah.
to be man-bone. But yeah, and then he gets his revenge against the nobles. And like again, like how the fuck do you sneak an entire horse past so many guards?
This movie was reading my mind. Like, remember, like before the noble died,
Yeah.
he was having a nightmare that Robert Bruce was coming at him with full war paint
Wallace.
and like wide eyes. Sorry,
Yeah.
William Wallace. And I was like, yeah, I felt the same way. And then when he actually comes in, I was like, is this still a dream? Nope.
Nope. By the time he
And
cracks his skull,
like, it takes a ball and chain and just whacks him. I'm like, woo.
and then he does an Assassin's Creed. I don't think the horse makes it though.
No, the horse was just like straight up.
like,
like dead in water. I will say, I feel bad for the horses in this.
yeah.
I wonder if they were legit like hurt.
No,
Probably
no.
not.
But Mel Gibson did get in trouble for that particular thing because Pete was like, "You killed a fucking horse." Like, no, I didn't. It's a fake horse. He's trying to convince, like, no, it's fake. But it was so lifelike that for a while Pete's like, "You killed a fucking horse."
Right. Yeah. No, but for sure he didn't because once they jumped off, you could see the dull horse kind of like is already limp
Yeah.
because a horse would try to like
Yeah. Fight for
try
its
its
life.
best. Yeah, like even mid fall, it
Yeah.
would be trying to like adjust itself.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I've never seen a falling.
yeah. Thank God, neither have I. I think that's a Batman on the older guy. He just hides him in the ceiling. Again, how does he do these things?
I don't know. And you can see like the commoners are just spreading this like, oh, William Wallace is back from the dead and he's killing hundreds of men. I'm like, this is so cool. Not gonna lie, William Wallace was a badass.
He's officially the ghost of Scotland.
Yeah. Send me your strongest warrior.
I love the scene before that when the guy's like, "Can you believe Wallace is picking us off? Who's next?" And Robert the Bruce is like, "Maybe it's you." Like, that's not a joke. I'm not
Maybe it's
joking.
me. And then that's when the body just like hits the table. Like,
I didn't like that
you
guy
pissed off
anyway.
the wrong man.
Right? I felt the poor English that were just waiting for Wallace. Like, we're gonna trap him, and then Wallace like, "No, you."
This is the biggest troll from William Wallace. There were so many moments in this movie where I was like, because like outside it had the flag of the princess.
Yeah.
And you see the guards that like protect her, and they're in like their fancy clothing. And I do love it that they kind of tell us like, hey, William Wallace is actually really good at sniffing out ambushes.
Yeah.
Just letting you know. And yeah, he's right. Where they just push these two men into this cottage filled with like probably 10 other soldiers. And they block the door and set it ablaze. I was like, that was cool. I don't know if it's accurate, but that was cool.
Speaking of the princess, like, it's another big historical no-no because at this time, the Princess Isabella herself was just a child. And, yeah. And still, the probability of, a French princess sleeping with William Wallace is still very impossible. So, was like,
yeah.
Isabella, more like, bye, Felicia.
Yeah. Like, I say no to kids.
Yeah.
How they hear.
Like, she did marry Edward II years later when she was, the proper age. Well, proper age during that time, but I'm sure she's...
Yeah, which was probably 13 or something. I'll fuck
it.
Us humans were back in the day were kind of messed up.
Right? But yeah, that leads to the scene where she's like, the king's dying and she's like, the child in me isn't your son, it is Wallace's. And the king's like, you fucking bitch, I'll fucking kill you.
You cheating ass bitch.
But he can't say it because TB really did a number on him.
Yeah. And it was so weird too when the king initiated prima nocta. He was straight up looking at the queen. I'm like, the princess. I was like, messed up.
But we get to the part of the movie that I don't like the most, which is when Wallace is captured.
Oh yeah, this was the scene where, like, he should have listened to Amish. It was a trap.
Yeah.
And you gotta love how Stephen was just like, maybe there's hope.
Right.
Actually, Stephen even like foreshadowed his death. Like, I'm gonna make it out of this, but you ain't.
But yeah, he gets captured by the English, and it's implied that not implied, but his father called on the English to capture William Wallace. Well, Robert Bruce was like, "This is our last chance to reunite Scotland." Ah, fuck my dad. I hate my dad.
And yeah, this is like, I would say, just like Honolulu, where false sense of security. They thought there will be a little bit of diplomacy, and then ambush.
I mean, unlike Henry, he didn't grab a guy, but then like, if you don't get a fucking haircut, I'm gonna fucking shoot you.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a point. For a soldier, you have bad hair. But anyway, back to Scotland.
Yeah.
He's put on trial for breaking the oath to the king, which he never did in the first place. But he's, guilty anyway, and he's sentenced to be hung, drawn, and quartered. Where in history, they didn't show this in the movie for obvious sakes, but being hung, drawn, and quartered, one of the packages is you get your dick cut off. Thank God they skipped that part. Would have left a very different taste in my mouth. Like, oh God.
Yeah. I gotta say, this was a hard scene to watch.
Yeah.
Because but throughout the entire movie, we've been following this protagonist, how great he is, how... If you watch this without knowing the history of William Wallace, you would think that he would make it out here, or die in battle. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He gets captured, gets tortured, and put on trial for everyone to see, and executed on the spot.
Yeah.
And he gutted and cut up, and then hung, and then put his torso on the stake.
It is rough to watch because you're like, Jesus Christ. Mel Gibson, you have a thing for torture.
No, but it was also kind of like, I would say like a tear-jerking scene because his two closest friends, the two guys he trusts the most, is just watching at the distance.
Yeah.
Stephen and Amish, and he can't do anything.
Yeah. Though I don't know what good saying mercy will do when your guts are being carved out. If you're like,
I guess they were like kind of half. Like, I ain't bad yet. We can stitch you up. Let us know if you don't want this.
Yeah.
And then when he just screams out freedom, that's when they fully commit to you.
Gutting him, right?
Gutting him.
Though that scene, every time screams freedom, the hairs on the back of my neck still stand up. Because that's such a
Same,
powerful moment.
same here because you just watch Stephen and Hamish just cry at the back. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is a horrible scene, but we know what we stand for,
Yeah.
and we cannot stop even after this, even if our leaders come.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit.
Yeah. And then the fact that he sees Morin by the end, like, oh, alright. At least, hopefully
He's
got
ready
it.
to go.
Yeah, yeah. And then we get to a few weeks later, I would guess, with Robert the Bruce and Wallace's army. Again, I don't know how Robert the Bruce, from the movie perspective, convinced them to fight with him. Because they're like, you fucking betrayed Wallace.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like, you bled with Wallace, bleed with me. I'll be like,
Oh no, I think probably since Amish and Stephen are like probably second in command to Wallace's troops, and Stephen like seeing that Bruce helped him get out of danger.
maybe he just fought.
There was a
Hamish
little
and
bit of
Stephen.
leeway.
Probably.
Yeah, yeah. Probably there was a little bit of leeway there. Not sure, but like, yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah. Robert and Bruce, I would say, undeservingly led.
That's basically character
Yeah.
assassination.
The character, not the real person.
Yeah.
Like the character, for sure, the troops would not allow it.
Yeah, yeah. Again, like, it is just pure character assassination at this point. Same goes with, like, you remember the guy from Titanic who blew his brains out? Apparently he never did that. He wasn't a coward. And his family was mad at Cameron for years, deservingly so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he kind of spat in the face of the family lineage.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So in hindsight, if you want to learn about Scottish history, just look at Wikipedia. Or, like, just go to the internet and just learn.
It is a fun read.
Yeah.
Like, okay, if y'all don't want to read an entire biography of William Wallace, just look up like the things that are inaccurate about the movie, and it's actually fun to read.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it actually went this way and that way instead of here, because it does open your eyes to a lot of things, especially like misinformation that this movie is giving. Even though the narrator was like, history books will never tell you this, but I'll tell you the true story of who saved Scotland, which was very misinformed. Yeah.
It's like,
But
I'll tell you
give it a read.
my own version. Wink.
Yeah, but by the end of this was a cool scene.
Yeah.
Where Robert the Bruce, yes, after what he did to William Wallace, is leading his army now to liberate Scotland, and which they did.
Yeah.
And the final scene is Amish tossing William Wallace's sword in mid-battle, as where it should be.
Very confusing from the English side. They're like, do they surrender?
Right? Until like you notice, like I didn't know it was William Wallace's sword until it stuck the ground. It's like, oh,
Right.
yeah,
It's like, I guess they're not gonna come to kiss our asses. Fuck. I didn't want to
Yeah.
fight today.
and my God, who brings a fucking claymore to a battle like that? That thing was huge. Like my God,
Right?
like there was like a leather sleeve on the blade just so you could hold it with two hands like a spear. I'm like, that is badass.
Yeah. I think we've exercised all we wanted to say about this movie.
Yeah.
What would you rate it?
I will divide this into two ratings.
I feel
Because-
pressure from our Scottish viewers.
Yeah, because I will agree there's a lot of inaccuracy. Like this is supposed to be telling a true story, and a lot of the times it doesn't. And it does misinform a lot of people as well. I also think the speech of the whole freedom thing was
Yeah, that was
Hollywood.
false too. He said something
Yeah.
else weirder, like, I have brought you to this circle, now dance and sing for me. Like, yeah, that doesn't work for Hollywood.
I say that's sort of badass.
Yeah, but like, you know, like, he's like, I have brought you to a circle. Sing and dance for me. I'm like, oh, that's it. Okay.
Well, I mean, if you put it that way.
I mean, in terms of audience being like, inspire me, huh? Okay.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I will say that the speech of they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom was a way better speech than that. But yeah, other than that, it is very inaccurate, and it really, goes away from its source material, which is such a shame because we want people to know history in a very cool way, which is movies or TV shows. And here they kind of do it a little bit of a disservice. Okay, a lot of disservice with a lot of inaccurate information that they're giving. So for a movie that's telling a true story, I'm giving this one a 6. That is my opinion on it being a true story. But as a movie on itself, this one's a fucking 9.
Yeah.
Like, if you took out all the names, William Wallace's names, this is like a fantasy world, and you told it this way, this is a fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It is straight up 9 for me. Everybody did their parts well. I know that for our Scottish viewers, Mel Gibson did have the best Scottish accent.
Right.
Yes, I noticed that. But other than that, I enjoyed this movie the entire way. I loved every battle scene. I loved every political moment that they've had, even though there was not a lot.
Yeah.
And hey, it ain't Game of Thrones season.
That is true.
So
In terms of accuracy, it's like watching a movie about our independence movement and then Bonifacio betrays Luna. You're like, what? But like,
right? Nice. I love how your mic just cut out throughout the range, but we got it. That was so good.
But yeah, if we're telling a true story, you have to do your best, and I feel like the writers were like, for most of the part, just writing it with fucking crayons, like, history, check. And then the rest of like the inks like, the liberties, like, for the liberties, we'll write it in ink, and then for history, we'll just draw it with fucking crayons, like, Scotland. I think this is the flag.
Yeah, that's where it is, right?
Mel.
It's like up America, right?
But yeah, in terms of historical, actually, I'll give this a 5. Like, you're not even trying at this point, at most points.
Oh no, I give it a 6 because I do see a little bit of, like, the story was there.
Yeah.
Like, they followed the story a little bit. But yeah, was this clothes, set design, and where the battles were placed, and some characters' ages, and the actual story of a certain character wasn't depicted. Okay, you know what? A 5's fine.
Because a 5 is like, you got the place right, you got the timeline right, you got the name right, kind of. Everything else, Rick, okay. Like, it's not even remotely close. But in terms of being a good movie, I'll also give this a 9. I just wish the bad guys were a bit better, but I guess at this point, it doesn't really matter, because it's not about them, it's about William Wallace and his fight for freedom. And again, the historical accuracies, I have to give it minus points, because I'll be called a cow for the rest of my life. So there's that.
By our Scottish friend. Okay, fine. For an actual verdict for what I gave, like, accuracy and how the movie was made, I'll give it a 7.5. All in all, mixing those two scores together, I'll give it that.
Alright. Probably same here.
Yeah.
But yeah, any movies with epic battles like this that you really like to rewatch?
Oh, since after this movie, I really want to rewatch Outlaw King now with Chris Pine and
Same here, actually.
Taylor Johnson. Like, I want to know. I kind of forgot since I watched that thing back in 2018. I want to know how, Robert the Bruce took care of things. After Braveheart, and
you forgot to mention one other name from the cast, which is Florence Pugh.
Oh, Florence Pugh, yeah, she's there too. Yeah, our favorite Marvel spear.
Yeah, the best part of Black Widow.
Yeah. But if you guys don't like the inaccuracies here in Braveheart, thankfully, here, sure, they still follow the same story, is a little bit more accurate.
Especially with
towards
Robert the Bruce.
especially with Robert the Bruce showing that he is an actual hero instead of a traitor king, and they don't wear kilts anymore. Here they wear like
Proper gear.
legit proper gear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so if you try it
according
out,
to our
if any of
Scottish
you
friend, his accent is pretty decent. So that's an upgrade compared to this.
for Chris Pine,
Yeah.
okay, that's great.
I always like rewatching them World War II movies like Hacksaw Ridge because they, again, Mel Gibson in war movies. It's a perfect mix apparently.
Also, with Hacksaw Ridge, I think Mel Gibson kind of learned his lesson and not to listen to the studios, and I think Hacksaw Ridge was true to its source material.
Yeah.
Yeah, even they had like I don't know, like the family's approval of it as well.
I think they did. I'd be
Alright.
surprised. It's not, a Pamela Anderson thing. So I think
Yeah,
he'll give more respect. But yeah, that has been our video on Braveheart. What do you guys think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? If I missed any other historical inaccuracies or any other historical information, please comment down below. Please don't call us cows for missing out on that. Uh, you can also find us at Facebook at facebook.com/geeks and degenerates. We also have a Discord server. And if you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. Individually, you can find me at Instagram and Twitter at YenDalvis1995. How about you, John?
find me at Instagram on Instagram at JohnGeom. It is my art.
And please continue to stay safe, wear a mask, social distance, and get vaccinated if you can. That's all the time we have, folks. We'll see you on the next one.